I want to tell you a quick story about self-esteem that I think you'll really enjoy. When I was, because, my dad used to say, babies, anybody have an infant at home? Thumbs up if you have a child, boy or girl, yeah? Oh, Matt, how old? I didn't know that.
Not an infant. My youngest child is 5.
5, okay. I was kind of looking for a younger age, but that's good. I'll bet you're a good daddy. When a baby is born, an infant grandchild, thank you, April. So when that baby's born, I bet you're very proud. April, take yourself off mute for just a second. I bet you're very proud of your grandchild, yes? Can you find your mute button? No? I'll bet April is very, very proud of. April, did you find it? Okay. I'll bet if you asked April, I'll bet that's a perfect baby. I'd say, is there anything wrong with a baby? No, man, it's the perfect child, perfect human being. When a baby is born, presented to the mother, it's perfection, man. Right? It's absolutely true. My dad used to say that because he lived long enough to have a grandchild. He said, that baby is born with all the self-esteem in the world. And then what happens? The family, the neighborhood kids, school, socialization. Over time, what happens is a human being is introduced to all kinds of insecurities, and a person can decide later on in certain categories, right? I'm not really that good at that. Or I'd rather not, that's not my thing. Or I was so embarrassed. A baby doesn't get embarrassed. A baby's perfect, right? And it's interesting to me that some people lose that sense of self-esteem, but don't ever lose your self-esteem. Don't ever lose that core thing that you were born with, because it's a beautiful quality to have. Nobody has enough self-esteem. And what's interesting about the job that you do for CK is that the people in your community want to know that they have that you think highly of them. And yet we rarely include that in the dialogue. We rarely say to them, thank you very much for calling in today. I really appreciate it, especially if they're calling to complain. Imagine that. They just finished complaining and you say, thank you very much for calling. And they say, what? I just ruined your morning. I must have not complained hard enough. And what they're really saying is, what you're really saying is, well, I appreciate the feedback, man. I'm really glad that you called in because otherwise we wouldn't know what you were thinking. And you've turned that negative complaint into a positive because you really do want people to let you know if they have a problem. It's really important. And now your morning hasn't been ruined, and they feel better about calling in because somebody actually listened to them. Listen to them, man, you thank them. It's an interesting twist. So nobody has enough self-esteem. And I'll tell you a quick way that you can levy self-esteem. It's through something that we've kind of lost our ability to do this, and that's called the power of the compliment. Would you write that down? The power of the compliment. There are really 2 types of compliments, everybody. There are what are called inside compliments and outside compliments. Now, an outside compliment is based on a visual trigger. In other words, I see it and then I say it, right? I can compliment people just on the call today. Ian, I love the color of your beard, man. It's vibrant. You look like a Viking. Beautiful. Jessica, what a beautiful smile you have. Thank you so much for being on the call today. And if you've got your camera on, man, I'd be happy to give you a compliment based on something that I see. But we know in today's society that's become a delicate issue. And, sometimes the compliments are misinterpreted. So what have we done as a society, everybody? We've stopped giving visual compliments. Oh, women might compliment each other. I love your shoes. But guys have dialed it back. And some of them, they should dial it back. They were very ham-fisted about their compliments. They were not appropriate. But we've stopped, this kind of, because you can compliment people on a bunch of stuff. It doesn't have to be what you see. And that's why I want to stress today the importance of the inside compliment. Oh, April's got sound now. Great. April, I'll come back to you in 1 second, okay? The inside compliment is the one you want to use at work. The inside compliment is when you compliment somebody about something you cannot see. Like what? Take yourself off mute or type it into chat. Something you cannot see about the other person. Like what? Work ethic, absolutely. Honesty, good. Energy, kindness, you got it. Vibrations, strong personal skills, positive attitude. You can't see attitude. Sense of humor, you're so funny, right? Can't see it. And when you compliment somebody about their inside of their body, it means more to them, right? You might be one of the most honest people I've ever met. You're on time for work every single day. I really appreciate that about you. You see? And when you say something like that to somebody, on some days, you will be the only person to say something like that to somebody. What a fantastic way to, if most relationships are like this, look what you're doing when you give that kind of a compliment, right? You move from here to here. That's a beautiful thing. You can do this with people you live with. They'll, at first they'll think something's up because you never do this. But then, you say to your husband, boy, I just love your sense of style. And your husband looks at you and he goes, you went to a seminar today, didn't you? And what do you say? Yep, speaker was really good too. His name's Angelo Caruso. I'm telling you, man, this stuff works like a charm. And that's the beauty of the self-esteem thing. Nobody has enough of it. Everybody signs for it like a FedEx package, man. Thank you, Ashley. I appreciate your kind compliment. Wait a second. Are you using my own stuff on me right now, Ashley? April, tell us about your grandchild. What's happening? Boy or girl?
She's a girl. A girl.
What's her name?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's her name?
Everly.
Everly.
Yes.
Like the Everly Brothers? Anybody remember that music act?
Yes. Spelled differently, but yes.
How do you spell it?
Everly. She's Everleigh.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of vowels.
Yes.
Is there anything wrong with Everly, April?
Absolutely not. No, she's perfect.
She's perfect. That's exactly right.
Yes.
And in about 2 years, she's gonna have amazing flaws. She's gonna talk too much. She's gonna cry at night. She's gonna be too needy.
But then she goes home with her parents.
Touche. But you appreciate what I'm saying about, you're born perfect. You were born perfect too. And then somehow people started giving you some evaluations, unsolicited sometimes, like, why do you have to be like that, April? Or, April, why, And then before you know it, you start believing that about yourself, that you're not a good speaker or that you can't sing well or whatever.
No.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, April.
Thank you.
It's interesting to me. It's just, I wish that we could treat each other better in this sense about self-esteem. And then the fifth cool idea, everybody, is this idea about change. That you can be that better person. You can improve. But you have to practice this stuff. And the practice starts through a seminal moment, like right now, on a call with almost a total stranger, who gets inside your head and says, you deserve better. Why don't you try this? Why don't you try it for a week? One inside compliment a day before noon, every day for a week, and just see if something shifts. And I promise you it will. It's a beautiful thing. So the 5 key ideas, again, we're going to build on these for the rest of the session. And we have Q&A set up for the end of the session, which is communication is the answer to all your problems. Number 2, confrontation is healthy. Let's not shy away from it. Let's embrace it. And let's use it. Let's jump into it with skills, right? Special skills. Number 3, Assertiveness is the way to go, not aggressive or passive. Number 4 is this idea of self-esteem. Nobody has enough of it. And number 5, change is what makes you better. Change is practice, right? So let's get going on that. Great.